Yeah, so if you've read the title already, you know what I'm going to be talking about. These are going to be, in my opinion, these are 5 simple things you could do that will help you improve in Smash. It doesn't matter how good you are. You could be, you could be the worst player on the planet. You could be MKLeo. You still need to know these things, and you could still improve on these things, in my opinion. So, yeah, let's start off with the first thing. I feel like this one is probably one of the most important things that people just don't do at a lower level, and then at a higher level you can still do it, but it's still something that I feel like you need to like practice every once in a while to maintain, and that is movement. You need to know like how to effectively move your character. So that not only means, like being able to like dash dance or like, know like when to run and stuff like that, but also walking, like the simple stuff, the micro spacing, like how good your walk is in certain spots, when you should be jumping, how to implement their full hop, their double jump, how their moves auto cancel. That's a big one. Just knowing how your moves auto cancel. Or like how much lag your moves have when you're landing with them. Like just simple things like that, I think, go a long way. And this is also more important if you play multiple characters, because for the most part, a lot of characters aren't played the same way. So like, for example, like let's say I'm Wolf, I could jump fair like from a far distance. Like look how far I am getting this fair. Whoops, that was bad. I should have gotten fair there. So stuff like that. So again, I'm at this mark, jump fair. Let's say I were to pick a character like Falco, I would not be able to get that fair from that distance. It's a different character, but it's the same. It's the same. I should probably just pick Sephiroth again, but what? See? Oh, like right here. I wouldn't be able to get the fair. I just he like his mobility is not the same, so it's just knowing stuff like that. Like there's some moments where you could pressure your opponent and it just seems really fast. So I'll use Wolf as an example just because I play Wolf. But a lot of times I'll do like that, like I'll do auto cancel back into forward air. Now, if I didn't know when it auto canceled and I did it, like let's say I go like that and then did forward air, look how slow that looks compared to going like this. Like just knowing that, like just having the knowledge of knowing when it auto cancels and like, but the hitbox placements and stuff like that go a very, very long way. I still say walking is also like it's criminally underused. Just knowing like when how fast your character walks, or knowing how you should be positioning yourself while walking, like you can slowly inch forward. I guess a good example is like, let's say you're trying to microspace. It's really difficult to microspace with running or dashing, because look at this. Like let's say I'm just trying to get to this spot, like go here. I could do it with jumping, I could do it with like a short hop, I could do it with walking, but then if I were to like dash, look how much farther I go. I go way too far to like get into like this tiny area that I could do with walking or jumping. This kind of goes into movement, but I still think it's different, so I'm like categorizing it like, as a different portion of it. I'm gonna switch stage, but I would say recovery knowledge, like knowing how far you can go with your recovery and make it back. It's something that I feel. I'm gonna switch characters too. I'll do my Wolf. It's something that I feel like it's very important. It's very apparent if you know or don't know, because there's certain situations that I feel like someone who's very knowledgeable with the recovery, you can typically see they don't panic in certain spots, whereas someone who may not know their recovery as well as they should, they'll panic in a given situation and they might burn their double jump sooner than normal, or maybe they'll overshoot the recovery because they don't have the knowledge that they should for how far the recovery goes, and it's very important. It basically will make or break when you will survive, or you'll lose stock because of it. So I guess like a perfect example is like, let's say I'm edge guarding with Falco, I run off fair, and then I could do that. There are certain Falco players, or not certain, there's still a lot of Falco players who'll do this. They'll run off the fair, they'll miss the recovery, and then they'll double jump up B. And because they did that, they're greatening their chances of getting reversal. I think a lot of people don't utilize air dodging to recover, and it's because they just don't know the distance their character can grab it. And I'm using Falco as an example because I feel like I use his directional air dodge a lot, and it's because it saves me from using up B. But you could apply this to any other character. Like I'll sometimes do it with Wolf, definitely not as often as Falco, but I feel like a lot of people they'll put themselves in spots where they they're just not utilizing all the tools of their recovery as they can. So it could also just be they don't know like the distance their character could come back to the ledge. Like they might think they're too low, or they may not know they could like mix up the recovery a certain way or something like that. Let me actually use another character for an example of just like of just recovery knowledge that you may not know. And it's just stuff that you need to learn. You need to learn with your character. So this is something that I feel like a lot of people still don't know. But Mario can actually up B straight up. I didn't do it there, but you see that? Like, you can actually make his recovery go higher than normal than if you just up B like that. And it does help. Like, it makes his vertical recovery better, and it gives you another layer that you can, another mix of you can kind of do to help extend your recovery off. So it's just like little things like that. You should know the ins and outs of your character's recovery. Like you should their movement. I mean, obviously, if you're using the character, you should know more than that. But I'll get to that later. But definitely those two things I think are just really important things that people kind of just like graze over. Especially the recovery thing, because some people will be like, oh well, I know how to recover. I can just grab the edge like that. But when you find an opponent who is like somewhat decent at edge guarding, kind of know what to do in certain spots, it makes doing like the basic bread and butter recovery that much harder. So you're going to have to understand how to mix it up and things like that. This next one I think is something that I kind of feel like very few people talk about. I'm gonna go back to the training stage. Doesn't really matter. This one is really, really, really important. I wouldn't say it's as important as the first two, but the better you get, the more you have to know this. And it's how much hit stun your opponent's in from like particular hits. So like, what I mean by that is a lot of people know when they can and can't get combos in certain spots. So like, you can do that. That was a combo. Or you do like fair. Oh, oops. You do fair. But a lot of people don't know like when they can like slightly delay the hit of their attack, and sometimes when it's more beneficial to delay it because maybe you can get more out of it that way, or just knowing like how much hit stun your opponent's in from a hit, you can understand that maybe you shouldn't go for that extra hit, so it prevents you from overextending, things like that. Just knowing that this particular move that you're doing may not like 100% combo is important, because it will allow you to just avoid putting yourself in situations where you could potentially get reversaled, or even better than that, sometimes your opponent likes to pick panic options, and you can capitalize even further because you know that you can like hit the opponent and like try to bait out them picking an option that they want to do to counteract yours. This next one I feel like is pretty obvious, and it's literally just like understanding frame data and like just like knowing hitboxes. For this, I would just 100% recommend you go to ultimateframedata.com. They pretty much have done like most of that for you. Like maybe some of the stuff on there is not 100% accurate, but it's still important to know. And the reason why it's important to know is, let's say you hit someone's shield with one of your moves and they punish it, and you're like, why are they punishing it? I thought this was really safe. And then you find out, oh no, it's not as safe as I thought. It's actually like, you know, minus 20 or something like that. It's it's definitely something you need to know. Or maybe you throw out a move and your opponent just cleanly beats out your move with, like, let's say they just jab it or something like that. You're like, whoa, why did like my move lose? And you find out, oh, the hitbox isn't as disjointed as I thought. I think that is something that is, you know, it's really, really important to know. And it's something that's easily accessible to you. So get on that. Get on that. The last one kind of just goes over, or it's kind of similar to what I said about flashing Mach Punch, and it's character knowledge. So some people, when they're playing, they'll stop at just knowing what their character can do, and they won't actually look into what their opponent's characters can do. And if that's you're not going to make it very far competitively. I'll tell you right now, because Ultimate is a game, like more so than any other Smash game. Ultimate is a game of matchup knowledge. Like there's so many characters in this game, and so many of them have unique traits that no other character has, that you will literally lose to someone based off of not knowing the matchup. And maybe skill-wise, you know the character, you know your character better than they know their character, but because you don't know some specific thing about their character, you could lose. And that has happened to so many people. I am not even, like, I'm being dead serious. That happens way too often. So, yeah. The simplest way to know, to, like, you know, learn more about the opponent's character, same thing as knowing yours, you know. Learning frame data is like an easy fix. I would suggest even playing the character. Playing the character helps a lot because you know the ins and outs better from playing them, because you kind of have, you can understand it from their perspective as well as from fighting them, if that makes any sense. And I guess something else I want to add, because a lot of people will bring up the fact that, oh, I practice with this person like all the time, and because I practice with this specific person, I know the matchup. And that's not always the case, honestly, because you're kind of relying on the person you're playing with to be able to utilize that character's moveset like somewhat effectively. And maybe they play the character in a very niche way that isn't how the general public plays that character. So even if you play someone a lot who uses a specific character, I would still highly suggest learning more about the character on your own, because there's always a chance that there's something that the person you're playing with does not do. I can almost guarantee you there's like something that the person you're playing with does not do that could still catch you off guard. So, you know, just try to learn as much as you can. This game, again, this game is very heavily dependent on matchup knowledge, and there are a lot of characters to learn. Like even now, I'm like, there's still like plenty of stuff about like all the characters I could learn, and I'm still learning. I think that's it. I just wanted to do like a really like quick and simple video, just kind of you know, talking. I didn't have a script, so I kind of rambled a bit, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do that. It helps out a lot. yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.